Okay, good morning. I'm going to try the record within the YouTube app option here. So I'm going to record and share a few things this morning. First is this peppermint that we've been using. We were using an organic one for about 30% more, but it just didn't taste as good. This one's a lot better, but we're going to try the other one again just to see. The reason why I mention it is we make the tea in these to-go mugs. And drink it throughout the day. Now, our microwave died yesterday, so now we've had to change it up a little bit. Pardon the mess. So, that's the other thing I wanted to share. So what I've gone and done, for a couple of reasons. One, I've started using the tetsubin. That's what it's called. It's a cast iron pot. You can see mine's a nice hobnail design. A tetsubin is a Japanese cast iron kettle used to boil water. You want to make sure you get one that doesn't have the enamel, because the benefit, one, obviously you can put it on the heat, and that's what I do. I make a pot of the mint tea, and then when it steeps, I warm it up. Or what I tried last night is I actually steeped it on the burner to see if it steeped a little quicker, a little better. I used 3 tea bags for the whole pot instead of 4. So that's what I wanted to share. The tetsubin, the cast iron kettle, not only can you heat water, obviously, make tea in it. I've already kind of sealed the inside with the tea tannins. I used to use it for my regular sinensis tea, what we know like Darjeeling and Assam type tea. Now I'm using it for the mint tea because we don't drink as much tea. I did make myself some of my Copper Mountain Oolong, beautiful tea, my first rinse of that. Probably my favorite tea. It's a lightly oxidized oolong, think kind of in between full strength tea and a green. And what else I've done here, I'm showing you the extra mint tea bags I save, and I use them to flavor the kratom. As you can see, all them tea leaves don't take up a lot of space, so it's actually worked out pretty well. There's what I had left over, that in combination with a little bit, that's gross, I know, the plant material, because I don't drink the plant material. Again, I make a tea, a liquor that I drink, and I leave the plant material behind. Today it's a combo of red barley, gold barley. I find red barley a little too tiring. Gold barley for a little more pain and chill, because my wife is stressed over this corona. I'm not really that worried. White for the offset of any kind of fatigue from the goal. A little more pain relief, they say, and it's a little more chill. I like the white in combination, because then you get a nice balance of the two myself. I find the gold on its own is a little too much, puts you down, a little tired. Not as bad as the red barley, for example, which will just lay you out. The white I find a little too zoomy, as it were. The two combined I find gives you a pretty darn good day. So yeah, there's my kratom. I have a disease called hidradenitis suppurativa. May have some other comorbidities that cause me chronic pain and fatigue, which is why I went to kratom. I gave up opiates, gave up any kind of stimulants except for the tea, obviously. I think I've mentioned it before. I use the tea not for the energy. My energy comes from here, probiotics, water. Believe it or not, if you drank water in the morning, you'd be surprised at how much energy you'd get just from that alone. But no, I drink the tea for a diuretic. To put so much fluid through my body, I help detoxify. No, there's no such thing as detoxifying, but in that sense, it does make sense. You're not detoxifying in that, you're not removing the toxins. I guess you are detoxifying when you're using water, because water helps flush your system. Your lymph system uses, the water, and your renal system. That's what I'm relying on, right? To flush as much of, because again, I don't live on as restrictive a diet as I used to, or what some people do. I created a modified autoimmune protocol, a modified paleo, and a modified keto to work for me, adjusted to my needs. When you have an inflammatory disease, at least in my case, it seems to be aggravated by things that I'm allergic to, and some foods that other people don't really notice as a problem for them. Yeast, dairy is commonly a problem for a lot of people, but it doesn't cause them, severe medical issues and abscesses that can last months. But yeah, so there's my long story short morning, and gonna have me some tea. And I'm going to finish my morning cup of kratom here. I'm going to have me my mountain copper oolong tea. That's going to be fabulous. I haven't had it in a couple of weeks. Yeah, just going to be chilling for the day. I don't know. I guess I'll leave it with something I've been meaning to do for a while. Why kratom? I mean, I kind of alluded to it before. I couldn't afford the medications. $40,000 for a biologic, and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars in pain pills every year. So I went a natural alternative. Now for me, the pills didn't work, right? So let's be honest. I mean, I'm kind of burying the lead here. Yeah, pills are expensive, but for me, they just didn't work. So I had to look for an alternative. They treated the mood disruption from HS. They treated with anxiety medication. That didn't help either. We assumed I was maybe medication adverse, some sort of theory behind that, but all it was is we were treating the symptoms, not the disease. So when I created my diet, I started to see significant improvements. My doctor started to get on board. He still doesn't understand kratom. He doesn't understand... He does understand that I use mindfulness and breathing techniques to deal with pain. But I don't think I'd be able to do it without the kratom, because the fatigue gets so bad sometimes that I just can't stand it. I mean, I can barely even sit up sometimes, lift my arm. The fatigue gets so great. So without kratom, I wouldn't get half as much done. And then there's the pain relief on top of that. I mean, I can live with the pain. The fatigue, for me, was what was really making it difficult to even get by. But yeah, so there's, I've been using kratom for, 2-3 years now. I use it just about every day for the last at least 2 years. I haven't taken any opiates in years, at least a few years since I started the kratom pretty much. I haven't been healthier. These last few months is a different story. If you follow my channel, you see that we were associated with a Chinese Buddhist temple here in town, giving tours and teaching, not just to locals, Westerners, but also mainland Chinese, Taiwanese, even Tibetan people. And we likely did catch the coronas back in November, December, because a number of them come back and forth throughout the year, and then they had a special celebration. It was really kind of ironic. We got invited to the volunteer hot pot. Not really thinking about it at the time that the hot pot would have to be nice and hot for it to be safe. And lo and behold, we were sick for a good month or month and a half. Now, keep in mind, it's not going to be as bad for most people. We are immune compromised, both of us, my wife and I. So, I mean, it really did kick our butt, and it's still kind of kicking our butt. Well, it's not still kicking our butt, but the stress and the BS and not being able to get what we need in a timely fashion, that, of course, is kicking our butt. But yeah, I don't know why I went down that way, but just want to let everyone know you can survive it, even with multiple autoimmune diseases or inflammatory-based diseases. I mean, I got through it. My wife has bronchitis, asthma, as well as autoimmune diseases. She had a hard time. She was in a lot of pain and discomfort, but we didn't have to go to the hospital, right? And that's what the whole idea here is we all got to hunker down so that we don't overload the healthcare system, because it's pretty much broken as it is. So if they can't handle 100 people a day, imagine what a mess it's going to be when there's 4,000 or 5,000 people a day coming in saying, "Oh my God, I got a fever, help me, help me." I just watched the news last night. This lady, she's got a cough, and she's taken up 2 weeks of hospital. Like, what is wrong with you people? Suck it up, right? If you really need it, by all means. If you're just a little worried or you're selfish, that is horrible. So stay safe. Remember to think of others, and I don't know. Stay energetic and pain-free out there, bros. Tai hala.